So we've all seen the social media post where someone is saying, hey, describe the perfect person for you. What are the traits and characteristics of your perfect partner? I have my own thoughts. They're probably not good thoughts, but I'm gonna share them anyways because why not? I'll get into them, but give me a like while the intro plays. This is gonna be tough, but So we've seen these posts, right? And some of us actually respond to them, but many times when you look at the responses, people are saying the same thing. They want someone who's loving and hardworking and sane and kind and loyal and intelligent, mature, successful, attractive, like all of these great traits, which are wonderful to want, obviously. But for me, what I always think about is, and maybe it's because I've spent so much time just working on myself, and my fault is that, okay, are they describing the perfect person for them or the perfect person ... because those are two totally different things, right? I will give examples of like my celebrity crushes and people who in my mind, in my imagination, are the perfect person. But then again, are they the perfect person for me? I don't think so, because in order for them to be the perfect person for me, I have to be perfect for them too, and I don't think that I am. So it's not a good match. Now, to give a few examples, I'm gonna go out there with these huge extreme traits, but like let's say you met someone who was codependent, or maybe you've discovered that you're the codependent person, right? And that's someone who obviously you rely too much on the connection, you give too much of yourself more than you should, where you're actually doing damage to yourself. So if you, let's say you were that person, is the perfect person for you someone who is also codependent? No, I think that would be disastrous. And again, now you have this perfect person we described who is interdependent. They have figured it out, this balance of being a complete individual, but at the same time contributing enough to a relationship to make it balanced. That's great, right? But if you're not there, then that's not a good match for you either. A good complement would be the counter-dependent person, and that's someone who kind of lacks trust in others and actually fears the consequences of trusting others. I think I might be a counter-dependent if I had to pick anyone out of that list. So it doesn't seem like that would be a great person to match with anyone. I know I'm just dogging myself here, but yeah, on paper it doesn't sound great, but I think it's a good balance for a codependent person. And again, ultimately, I have to, first off, wait, let me backtrack for 1 second. I have to put a disclaimer here to say that I am not a licensed professional, and I am pretty sure that there is no licensed professional out there that's going to co-sign on what I'm saying here. So take this with a grain of salt. This is not me saying these are tips that are definitely going to help you out. These are just my thoughts. And so if you finish watching this video and think, okay, Mike is full of cap, but he has me thinking, then I've done my job with this video. So the licensed professional is going to say, you know what, maybe you shouldn't be in a relationship until you figured yourself out and become this healthier, amazing version of yourself. And then you can go out and find a healthier, amazing person out there. And then you guys can have a healthy, amazing relationship and blah, 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 blah. It's all going to be great. Okay, I know it sounds sarcastic. That's only partly on purpose. Of course, that's what we should all be striving for. But in the interim, like if I were to wait until I was this amazing version of myself, I would be like 70 something years old in a retirement home thinking, okay, I'm ready. Where's the dude at? And oh, he's on life support. But yeah, so in the interim, again, it's about, to me, it would be about finding someone who's going to complement your dysfunction, your insanity. And so that's one example. Another example, this is going to be way out there, but let's say you met someone who is a narcissist. Maybe you're a narcissist. We know the traits of a narcissist, right? They lack empathy. Let's say they were social media people and putting content out there. Those are the people who, like, every video they produce is just, they're talking about themselves, and it's just a whole video about their big fat face all over the place to where you're like, oh my gosh, dude, get over yourself. That is the narcissist. And again, I'm just using visual references here. This is not to incriminate anyone or to label anyone as a narcissist.
Have I said too much? There's nothing more I can think of.
But I'm kidding. But obviously, if you were the narcissist, would two narcissists be a good connection, a satisfactory connection? Absolutely not. It would be absolutely disastrous for both parties involved. Now, the opposite, I don't think there is a psychological opposite to a narcissist, but there are traits. That's someone who is like empathetic, who's an altruist, who is an egoist, which is kind of the extreme version. And the egoist is someone who has a fear of being special, of standing out. So that would kind of be a balance to someone who is narcissist. And again, I'm not saying that if you are the egoist that you should search for a narcissist. No one should be with a narcissist, actually. But I do think that kind of compliment would work better than finding someone else who is like you. I don't think that's going to work. One more time, repeating that ultimately you should be the best version of yourself and finding someone who will complement that best version of you. But in the interim, that's what this is all about. In the interim, and again, I started off with giving you like these big extreme traits, but it doesn't even have to be this big. Let's just scale it down just a little. Let's say you're indecisive, right? Should you be with someone else who's indecisive? No. Let's say you're trying to pick a place to eat and it's like, oh, where should we go? I don't know. Should we go here? That sounds good to you. I don't know. And then what happens? You end up hungry because neither one of you can pick a place. Or let's say you're alpha decisive, right? I want seafood. And the other person's like, I want Puerto Rican food. And this person's saying, okay, but I want seafood, so it doesn't matter. And the other person is like, a mí no me importa, quiero comida puertorriqueño. And so what do you end up? You end up having pizza delivered or a late night rush to a McDonald's drive-thru. And does anyone really need that? Or let's say you're frugal, right? You save every single penny, and that's how you are. Should you be with someone else who's frugal? I don't think that's a good match. I think you're both in your 70s, you're thinking, oh my gosh, we saved up money, but we had a boring existence. The opposite, someone who's like carefree, living life for the moment. Money, shmoney, right? Should two of those people be together? Absolutely not. You're probably gonna end up homeless under a bridge with the next recession. So one's frugal, one's carefree. I think that's a good balance. I think when you are 70, you're thinking, okay, so we can't live this retired life of luxury, but we can exist. And maybe we can go like on a 4-day cruise every year and have a decent life. I think that's a good match. Maybe it's just me. Let's see, final example. Let's say you're a monogamous person, right? Should you be with someone else who's monogamous or you should be with someone who's sleeping around. Wait. Okay, not every example is a good example. But I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say here. I think it's important for you. The most important thing that any of us can do is, first off, figure out who we are. Like, really. Once you know who you are, you can at least know who else is out there that's going to complement who you are, where you're at. And then again, maybe when you guys are together, you can coexist at least to the point to where you are happy. And as you grow together, as you become healthier together, it'll be easier, I think, to meet at this perfect person ... level. So again, these are just my thoughts. This is, I think, so far what has worked for me. So I wanted to share this with all of you. A like would be great. A subscribe would be even better. But most importantly, comment and let me know if you are in a relationship. Do you find that there is a balance between where you're at and where your partner is at? And if you're looking for one, do you see where you may have decided wrong or have been waiting for this person who again, might be perfect, but isn't perfect for you. I would love to hear this. This is something that just fascinates me. I know it's super complicated and there's so many different aspects that you have to consider when finding that perfect person for you. But ultimately, it's what we're all wanting, right? It's what we all want in life. So I think it is important to at least think about, right?